Hi, this is Valerie Dawn. In this video, I'll show you how to knit a cable stitch called the Saxon Braid and how to read the knitting graph and corresponding pattern. Let's get started. The Saxon Braid, also known as the Saxon Plait, this is a traditional cable braid commonly used in Aran knitting. This is a sample of the 30 stitch Saxon braid, and there are 3 16 row repeats here and here and here, and this is 1 full pattern, 2 full patterns, 3 full patterns. This is my preferred stitch and graphical notation, but there are more, and stay for the end and I'll show you some common alternative notations and graph symbols. The first rope travels, we do the right cross first, then it travels to the right, 2 row positions, goes straight up, travels back to the left, and then it weaves under, over, and travels on the far left side. Now the second rope, it travels straight through the middle and becomes the outside left, and then travels through the middle, and on the next repeat would be on the far outside. So when we look at the 2 ropes on the left, they are symmetrical to the ropes on the right and follow the same pattern. And the 2 ropes in the middle never escape the boundaries. They're always on the inside, but they're weaving back and forth through the pattern. This is a right cross cable, and this is a left cross cable. These ones are obvious, but what's not so obvious is there are 4 other cable stitches where the ropes cross over purl stitches. These are important because they allow these ropes to gently curve and travel in a curved pattern. So I'm going to break this pattern down for use row by row, and we'll do each one of the cables, and I'll show you how to make them and how to follow the pattern. All right, these are, I'm just showing them side by side. This is the 30 stitch Saxon braid. The ropes are 3 stitches wide. This is the 24 stitch Saxon braid, and the ropes are 2 stitches wide. So the cables use a different number of stitches, but the technique for assembling them and knitting them is exactly the same. And you can download these patterns from my website. The link is in the description below. This one is a nice headband, so if you want to practice the Saxon braid, this is a great way to do it and have a nice warm headband at the end. I'm using a really lovely Debbie Bliss 100% merino wool that I picked up from LOVECRAFTS. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can order it if you'd like to give it a try. I find it's a beautiful weight and color for cable, traditional Aran cable sweaters. I've already knit 1 full 16 row pattern of the Saxon braid. This is this 30 stitch, so each rope is 3 stitches wide. Now I'm just going to do, I'm beginning at row 1 again. So because it's the wrong side, we will knit these so that the purl appears on the front. So this is going to be a knit 7, purl 6, knit 4, purl 6, knit 4 twice, and then purl 6 and knit 7. That's a total of 40 stitches. The Saxon braid itself is 30 stitches wide. Alright, so let's do that. And turn for row 2. Row 2 is the first cable row, and we have 3 6-stitch right cross in this row right here. And that is this symbol. When you see R, remember B right back. And that will remind you that when you see the right and it's a right cross, that you put the cable stitches in the back. So we start out with the knit 2 and purl 5. Now take a look at the next 6 stitches. They're all knit stitches. And we want this rope that's coming up here to pass over top, so cross it at a right angle over this rope. And so the other thing is to remember, you were just purling. Remember to put your thread or yarn to the back so you don't accidentally create an extra stitch. All right, so now this rope goes over this one. Be right back. That means these three. That out of the way. These three go on the cable needle. Put them in the back, and then you knit these 3 stitches. So they're in the front, they're angled right, and now you're going to knit the 3 from the back. So that rope is going to pass behind at this one. All right, see that? Now we repeat that cable 3 times in this row right here with purl 4 in between. And this is a right side row. We're reading right to left. So we purl these 4 and then we do another cable, purl 4 and the 3rd cable. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, 1, 2. Put that in the back. Remember to put your yarn to the back. And knit the 3 stitches from the cable's needle. Purl 4. And then we just finish with the purl on the edge, which is really just the stockinette stitch, and 2 on the edge, just to finish the edge nice. Okay, let's take another look at that. There's our 3 cables. The right cross, this rope is crossing over this one, this rope is crossing over this one, and this rope is crossing over this one. And then we go on to row 3. Row 3 is a wrong side row, and we read that left to right, and so this is going to be knits, purls, knits. Sometimes you'll see the instructions for this is knit the knits and purl the purls. And so let's just finish row 3. It's the same as row 1. And that is the end of our wrong side, row 3. And then we will turn for row 4. Row 4 is where the 6 ropes begin to diverge. And you can see this here. This one begins to travel to the right. This one travels left, right, left, right, left. There are none of the ropes are crossing over each other. What's happening here is, if you look at this rope, it's going to travel 1 stitch position to the right. And this cable is called the 4-stitch right purl cross. This is the symbol for it. And what we're going to do is cross the 3 knit stitches over one of the purls. And that's so that this rope travels 1 position to the right. Now let's knit over to that. All right. Now let's look at the next 4 stitches. There's a purl and 3 knits. We want these 3 knits to cross over the purl. Remember, it's the 3-1 or 4-stitch right purl cross. When you see R, that means your cable needle goes in the back. Be right back. And it's actually crossing over that purl stitch. Remember to put your yarn to the back. You put the purl stitch on the cable needle in the back and knit 3 off of the here. So that's our rope, the 3 stitches of the rope. Now you're going to purl, so bring your yarn forward and purl that stitch from the cable needle. And that is going to make this rope travel 1 stitch position to the right. All right. That's the first cable stitch on row 4. There's 5 to go. The next one is the 3-2 LPC. So that's a 5-stitch left purl cross. it's over here, 3, 2, that's the LPC, left purl cross. Slip the next 3 stitches to the cable needle, place at the front, purl 2, then knit 3 from the cable needle. All right, let's look at these next 5 stitches. Here they are. There's 3 knits of the rope and 2 purls. And what we're doing is this rope is going to travel 2 stitch positions to the left. So these 3 knits, which is our rope, is going to cross over those 2 purls. So it's the whole rope is going to move over 2 stitch positions. Now remember, it's LPC. Left means the stitches, the cable stitches go in the front. All right, and remember to bring your yarn forward to purl. So we purl those 2 stitches. All right, yarn to the back and knit the 3 stitches of our rope. Okay, and so once we have that cable done, this rope has now traveled 2 positions to the left. And if you look closely, we have this rope went 1 position to the right, this 2 positions to the left, and we have purl stitches in between. Now, the next thing we do is another cable stitch. This one is called the 5-stitch RPC right purl cross right here. And this is the one we're doing right here. And when you look at it over here, this is the symbol. Now, slip the next 2 stitches to the cable needle, place to the back of the work, knit 3, then purl 2 from the cable needle. So again, let's look at these 5 stitches. It's going to be right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's our 5 stitches. And this is the rope. This rope is going to travel 2 stitch positions to the right after we're done this cable. And it's an RPC, so the right cross means it's be right back. The stitches on the cable go in the back. And so that means the first 2, which are purls, go on the cable needle, they're placed in the back. Knit these 3 stitches of the rope. Remember to bring your yarn forward and then purl those 2 stitches from the cable needle. Alright, so once we're done that one, this rope has traveled 2 stitch positions to the right, and the purls, instead of being on the right side, are now on the left side. And then we do those 2 cables again. Right here, we do the left purl cross and the right purl cross twice. So we're working on this one and this one now. So again, it's going to be this one again and then this one. Okay, let's do that. So left purl cross, the 3 stitches of the rope go in front, purl these 2, and then knit the 3 stitches from the cable needle. Always remember to put your yarn to the front or back to knit or purl, or you could end up creating an extra stitch you don't want. All right, that is the left purl cross right here. I didn't move my red box, but it's this one. And then we do another right purl cross, and that will be this one right here. Okay, let's look at it. The next 5 stitches, there's 2 purls, 3 knits. Right means the cable needle goes in the back, so you put those 2 on the back and knit the 3 stitches of the rope. Yarn forward and purl these 2. Okay, now that's 5 of our 6 cables for this row. The last one is another new one. this is called the 4-stitch left purl cross. This rope is going to travel 1 stitch to the left. Right here, slip the next 3 stitches to the cable, place it front. Remember, it's an L, left cross, always goes to the front. Purl 1, then knit 3 from the cable needle. Okay, again, let's take a look at the next 4 stitches. There's 3 knits, 1 purl. So these 3 knit stitches go in the front, purl this 1 stitch, here into the back, and then knit the 3 from the cable needle. All right, and then we just finished with the purl 4, knit 2. And that was the end of row 4. And you should give yourself a pat in the back. That was a very busy row, and you learned 4 new cable stitches. Did you notice that the purl stitches were always placed in the back and the knit stitches were always placed in the front? Well, that makes sense because the knit stitches, which are the ropes, always cross in front of the purls. And the purl stitches recede, so the ropes, which are knit stitches, stand up prominently. All right, now we're on to row 5, which is a wrong side row. Remember, we read left to right, and the purls are knits and the knits are purls. I've already finished it. I'm ready for row 6, so you go ahead and finish that. Row 6 is another cable row, and the first one is going to be a 4-stitch right purl cross, and this rope is going to travel 1 stitch position to the right. That's this rope. The next is a left cross, and that would mean this rope is going to cross over this rope, and again this one over this. And on the last rope, that will be a left purl cross, a 4-stitch, so this is going to travel 1 stitch position to the left. All right, let's get started on that. And then take a look at the next 4 stitches. Remember to put your yarn in the back. And we've got a purl and 3 knits. It's a right purl cross. Here it is on the pattern row. Right purl cross, 4-stitch. This purl goes in back on the cable needle. Knit the 3 of the rope. Bring your yarn forward and purl from the cable needle. And then we have 3 purl. And then we do the left cross. And so you see this is the 6-stitch right here. 3-3 left cross. That's this one. And you'll see we have 6 knits. It's going to the left, so the cable needle goes in front. And knit these 3. And then knit the 3 from the cable needle. And we do that one more time, but we have purl 4 in between. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we have another 6-stitch left cross right here. 1, 2, 3 in front. Knit these 3. And then knit these. There we go. 3 purl. 4-stitch left cross. Remember to put your yarn in the back. Look at the next 4 stitches. These 3 knits go in the front. Bring your yarn forward, purl, yarn back, and knit these 3 from the cable needle. Alright, and then we finish with purl 3, knit 2. And row 7 is a wrong side row. We have knits and purls. Just follow this pattern, and then we'll move on to row 8. Row 8 is the next cable row. We start with this rope does not travel on this row, and we're just going to knit that. Now we're ready to start the next cable, and that is a 4-stitch right purl cross right here. So this rope is going to travel 1 stitch position to the right. Look at the 4 stitches. We've got a purl and 3 knits, and when it's right, the cable needle goes to the back. So that 1 single purl goes on the cable needle, knit 3, and then knit the purl the stitch from the cable needle. Right. Okay. Then we go into the next cable, which is a 5-stitch left purl cross. Look at the 5 stitches. You got 3 knit, 2 purl. It's a left, so the cable goes, needle goes in the front. There's your 3 knit, and then purl the next 2. Alright, yarn to the back. Knit these 3 stitches on the rope from the cable needle, and that rope travels 2 stitches to the left. And then we have another 5-stitch right purl cross. First 2 purls go in the back, be right back. Alright, and then we do knit the 3 stitches on the rope. And purl the 2 from the cable needle. And the last cable this row is the 4-stitch left purl cross here. All right, there it is in the pattern. There's their 4 stitches. We do the 3 knits of the rope in the front, purl 1, and then knit the 3 from the cable needle. Awesome. Okay, finish up with 3 purl, 3 knit, 3 purl, and finish our 2 knits on the end. Row 9 is the wrong side row, and we'll just continue doing our knits and purls according to the pattern. We are on row 10. It's the only cable on the row, and so I'm going to knit over there, and then we'll do that right cross. Right means we put the cable stitch in the back. So put those 3 on the cable stitch, put them in the back, knit the next 3, knit the 3 off the cable stitch. And then we finish this row with just knits and purls, no more cables. All right, this is row 11, wrong side row, right there. Let's both do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, you've seen all the cables before that are in row 12, so we're going to follow this across. We come to the first cable, and this rope is going to travel 1 stitch to the left. That's the 4-stitch left cross. Okay, look at the 4 stitches. Left means put the cable needle in front, and so we put the 3 knits in front, purl that 1 stitch, and then knit the 3 from the cable needle. Okay, then we come to a 5-stitch right purl cross. There's the 5 stitches. This rope is traveling 2 stitches to the right. Be right back. Put the purls on the cable, put them in the back, knit 3. And then purl the 2 from the cable. cable needle. All right, next one is another 5-stitch left purl cross. Take a look at the 5 stitches. Left means you put the cable needle in front. All right, these 3 knits go on the cable needle, go on the front. Purl 2. And knit the 3 from the cable. And see, we're following here on the pattern as well. We just finished that 5-stitch left purl cross. We have one more 4-stitch right purl cross right here. So this cable will travel one position, stitch position to the right. And we have the purl we put in the back. Knit the 3 from the rope. Purl 1 off the cable. And finish up with purl 3, knit 3, purl 3, and knit 2. Row 13 is another wrong side row. Here's the pattern, and I'll be right back. Row 14 is another cable row. It has 4 cables. This rope is going to start to travel back to the left 1 stitch. These cables do a left cross, and outside left rope is going to travel back 1 to the right. I've already got started on this row. This is the 4-stitch left purl cross, and when it's left, the cable goes in the front, so we put our knit stitches in the front, purl 1 from the cable, from the needle, and then knit the 3 from the cable needle. And then we have purl 3. And then we do the 6-stitch left cross, and that puts the first 3 stitches on the cable needle in the front, knit 3, and then knit the 3 from the cable needle, and that will cross this rope over that, this rope over this one. Do that again after first we do a purl 4 in between. Okay, there's the purl 4, and then we do another 6-stitch left cross. So these 3 go in front, 3 from the needle, 3 from the cable needle, and then we have purl 3, and then for our left outside rope, it's going to travel 1 stitch to the right, and so remember, when it's a right purl cross, cable needle goes in back, and so you knit those 3, and that shifts, that moves that rope over 1 stitch position, and then we just finish off with purl 3, knit 2. And this is row 15. Just follow the knits and purls. Row 16 is the last row of the Saxon Braid pattern. It has 6 cables, so it's all 6 of the ropes are traveling again. 4-stitch left purl cross. Look at the 4 stitches. Left means the cable needle goes in the front. We put those knit stitches in the front. Purl 1 from the needle. Knit 3 from the cable. All right, and then we go straight into the 5-stitch right purl cross right here, and you'll see these 5 stitches. There's 2 purls and 3 knits. 2 purls go to the back because it's a right purl cross. And you're always going to, in this pattern, cross the knits over the purls. Okay, purl those 2 from the cable needle. And then we have a 5 stitch left purl cross. Alright, so these 3 knits go on the cable needle. In the front, purl 2. And knit these, and I'm just going to remind you again to make sure you move the yarn to the back to do the knit, so you don't accidentally make an extra stitch by wrapping the yarn over the needle. Alright, and then we have another 5 stitch right purl cross. And right means be right back. 2 purls in the back. Knit the 3 for the rope. Purl the 2 off the cable needle. We have one more 5 stitch left purl cross. And so our 3 knits go in the front. Purl 2. And knit the 3. And our last cable is this 4 stitch right purl cross right here. And we see there's our purl, goes in the back. Knit 3 and purl 1 from the cable. And then we finish with purl 4 and knit 2. That completes the Saxon Braid pattern. Here's 3 alternative notations for the stitches used in the Saxon Braid. There are no global standards for cable stitches. The Craft Yarn Council is a valuable resource, and they have a webpage with standard stitch notations. This is my favorite because it specifies the method of dividing the stitches on the cable needle, such as the 3-3 or the 3-2. Whereas with the second modern notation, 5 stitch RPC could mean the 3-2 split. It could also be a 2-1-2 split. There's a numerous number of vintage stitch notations. The C6B and the C6F are the most common. In vintage patterns, you're probably going to see twist to represent the stitches that incorporate both knit and purl, where the knit stitches or your rope is twisting across a purl background. The best thing to do is, for precise instructions, is consult the glossary provided in the pattern you're working with. My videos strive to clarify the techniques of cable stitches, which can provide a deeper understanding of how they are assembled and how they are applied to create these stunning combinations of cables, and also demystify the diverse notations you will find in patterns. This is the final of 3 videos I've made on stitches that are going to be used in a mystery cardigan cable sweater I am planning, and I hope you'll join me for that. Please remember to press like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.